The conformity gate theory is one of the strangest and biggest theories ever made about a TV show. At first, it sounds completely crazy, but the more you look at it, the harder it becomes to ignore. This theory isn't random guessing. It's built on patterns, clues, hidden messages, and details that seem too specific to be accidents. Today, we're going to walk through all of the evidence for the conformity gate theory. We'll separate what might just be normal TV mistakes from what could actually be intentional clues. And even if there is never a secret extra episode, this theory will completely change how you see episode 8 and the ending of season 5. If you've never heard of conformity gate before, here's the basic idea. The theory suggests that Mike and the rest of the main group who attacked Vecna never truly escaped. Instead, they are trapped inside Vecna's trance. They are asleep, just like we've seen before. They are stuck in a fake reality made from memories, comfort, and lies. Everything feels calm. Everything feels finished. But that's exactly the problem. This fake reality is meant to make them stop fighting. The number 7 plays a huge role in Stranger Things, and people noticed it showing up again and again. At first, fans thought 7 might be pointing to a real-life date, but that theory started to fall apart. Netflix announced a behind-the-scenes documentary on the 5th, which meant they wouldn't announce anything big before that. Then, the WQSD broadcasts returned late on the 11th, just before the documentary released on the 12th. And that's where things got strange. The WQSD broadcast included messages telling people to crank it up to 11, and hidden warnings saying the town had been taken over and that people needed to wake up. Even the hosts' names were suspicious: Mindy Flair and Vance. Rearranged, their names spell Mind Flare and Vecna. Then there was the Stranger Things WQSD torch. When fans shined a blacklight inside the box, the words Vecna lives appeared. So if 7 wasn't a day, what else could it be? Some fans believe 7 refers to the 7th month, July. That would mark the 10-year anniversary of Stranger Things, something that only happens once. Meanwhile, Netflix released a promo teasing content coming in 2026. The promo used tarot cards and hidden symbolism. A narrator said, "This year you will question everything." One card showed the Roman numeral 11 and featured an illustration that looked just like 11. The message was clear: things are not what they seem. Even the words used to market the promo were unsettling. You will be deceived, and you will like it. Then there's the documentary released on January 12th. In its trailer, fans spotted a whiteboard behind the creators. Written on it were events that never happened on screen. Demogorgon attacks, Will confronting the Mind Flayer, things that were supposedly part of the finale but were never shown. The creators were asked why Will wasn't affected by the Mind Flayer's damage. Their answer was strange. They said he was affected, but we didn't see it. That raises a big question. If it happened, why wasn't it shown? If it was filmed, where did it go? And if it wasn't filmed, why write it on the board? Even more unsettling, that whiteboard was only about episode 8, not the whole season, just the finale. Now here's where things get even stranger. People discovered that episodes 5 through 8 were never legally registered the same way normal TV episodes are. Instead, they were labeled as long-form promotional content. That's not normal. Even people who went to theaters to watch the finale didn't receive actual tickets. They got vouchers instead. Almost like Netflix didn't want people legally paying for something that wasn't real. According to the theory, conformity gate begins at the end of episode 4, when Mike senses Vecna. That's the moment people believe Mike is knocked unconscious. And if episodes 5 through 8 aren't officially registered, could that mean none of them are real? In that moment, when Mike looks through the Demogorgon's vision, his eyes appear darkened. No one else's do. In Dungeons & Dragons, certain spells cause blindness, and later, when they play D&D, Mike makes a strange choice, sending Will to a town controlled by a vampire, where everyone pretends to be happy and follows the rules. In episode 1, Mike is shown drinking coffee. In episode 2, again. Coffee is often used to show sleep deprivation. He's exhausted. He's not fully awake. At the hospital, Mike notices a book called A Wrinkle in Time. It's about an evil force that controls a planet by forcing everyone to conform. After seeing the book, Mike zones out completely. Coincidence? The theory says no. Vecna doesn't kill Mike's parents when Holly is taken. He leaves them alive on purpose. Just like with his other victims, he leaves Mike traumatized and mentally broken. Later, Mike injures his arm badly, but the pain disappears, just like Max could walk while trapped in Vecna's trance. On the Season 5 poster, the Mind Flayer connects Mike and Henry. Vecna was inspired by Freddy Krueger. In A Nightmare on Elm Street, the 7th movie breaks the rules and lets Freddy enter the real world after the film's end. The actor who played Freddy also played Henry's father in Stranger Things. In Eddie's D&D campaign, everyone thinks Vecna is dead, but Eddie says Vecna lives. In the finale, Vecna loses his left arm and his head hides his left eye. Eddie also mentions losing his left arm and left eye. In Will's coming out scene, he remembers happy childhood memories, but some of those memories don't make sense. Places that didn't exist, events that were actually traumatic. They feel like someone else's memories. At the very end, Mike walks upstairs and out a door, just like The Truman Show, a movie about a fake reality. That movie was on the Stranger Things inspiration board. No digital clocks show time in the finale. They always did before. People who once hated the Hellfire Club now cheer for it. Everything is too neat, too happy. Actors have hinted their finales were different. One said his ending wasn't the same as everyone else's. After 11 disappears, we hear a heartbeat, then a sound like bricks being laid, like a world being built. In Holly's memories, small details are wrong. Colors change, objects are off. The show taught us these details matter. Editors say mistakes like these don't happen by accident. Some fans believe the kids became their worst versions of themselves, the easiest versions for Vecna to control. Nancy and Mike become their parents. Max becomes like Billy. Steve gives up his dreams. Everyone settles. Orange graduation robes resemble prison uniforms. Characters look directly into the camera, something Vecna did before. Puzzles appear everywhere. Boxes, words, games, clues. Even the ending feels boring, comfortable, safe. And that's the biggest red flag of all, because comfort is how Vecna wins. So what does it all mean? Maybe there is another episode. Maybe the documentary reveals something new. Or maybe the ending wasn't meant to feel wrong by accident. Maybe it's meant to make you question everything. Now it's your turn. Do you think Conformity Gate is real? Do you think the ending was a lie? Or do you think it was all just coincidence? Let me know what you think. And remember, in Stranger Things, the scariest monsters don't always attack. Sometimes they convince you everything is fine. So after everything we've talked about, after all the clues, patterns, strange moments, and unanswered questions, we are left with one uncomfortable truth. The Stranger Things ending does not feel finished. It feels quiet in the wrong way. It feels calm when it should feel earned. It feels like something is missing, not because we want more, but because the story itself keeps pointing at holes it never fills. And that's why Conformity Gate refuses to disappear. Most fan theories fade away once a show ends. They get debunked, they lose steam, people move on. But this one keeps growing. More people notice the same things independently. More clues line up. More moments feel intentional instead of accidental. And that's the scariest part. Because Conformity Gate isn't about one hidden message or one secret scene. It's about a pattern of comfort, repetition, false happiness, and characters becoming versions of themselves they never wanted to be. Vecna doesn't need to kill everyone to win. He just needs them to stop fighting. Think about that for a second. What if the real ending isn't destruction? What if it's acceptance? What if the true nightmare isn't monsters, gates, or worlds collapsing, but a future where everyone quietly settles into a life they didn't choose? That idea fits Vecna perfectly. He doesn't attack with claws. He attacks with memories, with regret, with fear, with comfort. He gives you a world that feels safe enough to stop questioning, and the finale feels exactly like that. Now here's where you come in, because whether conformity gate is real or not, Stranger Things has already done something incredible. It has made millions of people stop and ask questions, not just about the show, but about storytelling, endings, and what happily ever after really means. Was the ending meant to be comforting, or was it meant to look comforting? Was episode 8 the true finale, or was it the moment the characters stopped resisting? Is there another episode coming, a reveal in the documentary, or do you think the real meaning is already there, hidden in plain sight? And maybe the most important question